Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Breaking KEYFABE, episode 16. I am your host, Larry, or Brandon, whichever you prefer, for this magnificent interview with pro wrestler, the Deathmatch Juggalo, the Tattoo Cracker, Ryan White. And this is such a huge honor. He is my second deathmatch superstar to appear on this part of the channel. I am very honored that he's even given me the time to do so. Come on, add him in one try. One try. Yes!
What's up, buddy?
What's up? What's up? The tattooed wrestler, the deathmatch juggalo, the Carolina cracker, Ryan White.
That's right, baby. How you doing, baby?
I'm doing magnificent. How are you?
I'm trying to get ready for this cold weather we're getting here in South Carolina. We're gonna get some ice a little bit, not as much snow as others, but we're gonna get a little snow. But it's gonna be mostly ice and sleet, so we're just bearing down.
Are you near the storms right now?
I am. I live in the upstate of South Carolina, close to the Georgia line, actually, and we're expecting 1 to 3 inches of ice tonight. So we've already got everything we need, but we didn't get all the bread and milk. Just so everybody knows, we don't do milk sandwiches around here.
Well, please be safe. I hear them storms are getting bad.
They're getting very bad. So anybody watching this, you guys be safe, stay warm, don't go out unless you got to go out.
Indeed. And please stay safe. Prayers to you and your family and everybody else.
Absolutely.
Sir, you have been in quite a few. You're more known for your death matches, but I know you're not afraid to get down and dirty with a regular style matchup. But how did your career start for you in pro wrestling?
I started it just like it did for just about any other wrestler I've ever talked to. We all started in the backyard doing backyard wrestling. My cousin Corey Bell, he had a backyard promotion called BCW TNG, and I started doing that with him back in '08, and things happened where we had an athletic commission pretty much shut us down. So me and a couple of other ones that were in the yard, we said, well, we're going to go legit. So we started a promotion called SCW Entertainment down in Greenwood, South Carolina. And that's when we went legit in 2011, late 2010, early 2011, we went legit. That's when it all started. I went, I guess you could say, from the backyard to Indy. And that's where it all took off. I had my first match against Mike Jones in a old nightclub in Greenwood called Club Chapala. The roof was, it was like wrestling at a venue where the ceiling is so low you can't really do much off the ropes or anything like that, or certain high spots or anything. So like, it was a very small building, but I wrestled Mike Jones in my first match. Actually won my first match. So that's where it all took off from there. But before that, I was in the backyard. I was infamous for Light Tube Massacre, and I had the matches with a guy named Malice. And I was infamous for always being cheese grated, because I'm the type, I just want to take it to the next level, get that shock and awe factor out of them. And I had them cheese grade me. I did all kinds of things that, now I know I shouldn't have did, now that I've been trained properly. But at the time, I was living in the moment, man. So that's where it all started.
But doing that crazy stuff, you developed that into your style that you do on the indie circuit everywhere you go.
I agree. I do. But you also have to be respectful of promotions and the bookers, and the promoters' wishes. You're working for them. You're contracted to work for them, and you're entitled to do what they ask you to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's coming from someone who's now a booker and promoter myself. So you can't expect to go in there and say, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, and pretty much F what you got to say. You can't do that. You cannot do that. That's just disrespectful. So in my opinion, you need to know your place and respect boundaries when you go to different promotions.
That's really understandable. You're a humble man. Like you respect where you go.
I try to be very humble, man. I come from humble beginnings, and I'm still humble. I'm blessed, but you never forget where you come from, and you never forget the ones that were there with you through it all.
I respect that. Welcome, fellow pro wrestler Frankie Stomper of the Stomper Brothers.
What's up, Frankie?
What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear barbed wire, light tubes, glass, nails, doors, tacks?
The first thing that pops in my mind is I'm about to tell a beautiful, violent story. Um, them are all, props, yes, but there's so much more. They're a part of that storytelling that we do in deathmatch wrestling, and the art that we do. A lot of people have a bad opinion about deathmatch wrestling, um, but the ones that I know, we've all been classically trained, traditionally trained, so we know what we're doing as far as wrestling. But you have to understand when you go to deathmatch, you got to understand how to have that control when you're using these weapons and stuff. You got to be able to. You're not. I don't know how to say it. You don't want to kill somebody, but you want to have controlled chaos when you're doing it. And I feel like my traditional training helps me in that aspect when I'm actually in a death match. So um, that's what I
Okay.
think. I think I'm about to tell a beautiful, violent story. That's what I believe.
So when you're training, what is your usual regime or regimen per se, like to go about doing something that prepares you for a death match?
Well, as far as like diet wise, I eat a lot of proteins and carbs and stuff like that. A lot of it. Um, as far as mentally getting prepared for it, you really can never really be mentally prepared for a death match when you're going into it. But you just know that hey, some of this is going to hurt. It's going to hurt pretty good. Um, but that's what separates the men from the boys, in my opinion. You're gonna. You chose this. You chose to get in that ring. You chose to use them gimmicks. You know what's about to happen. And if you think it's not going to hurt, then you're in for a rude awakening. Um, I usually before I'll give you my routine on show days. Show days I usually wake up between 5 and 6 in the morning. I get up, I make my pot of coffee, of course, and I turn on my YouTube and start studying footage. So I can have fresh ideas and all that for what me and my dance partner might want to do, whatever, some suggestions to throw out. Um, Drink my coffee and things, pack my gear bag, make sure I got everything, my kick pads, elbow pads, tape, super glue, et cetera, whatever I need for that show. Head out the door and go. And I set up, I'm there for setup. Um, and then when my dance partner shows up, we have a little talk. And before the match, I will pop in some music. And usually it's Slaughter to Prevail. Usually I listen to them. It just gets me in that go mode. So I get in that mode, and then when the music hits and I hit the curtain, it's on from there. I'm going out there and I'm cracking some skulls.
Hell yeah. And it looks like a friend of yours, your brother, Andrew King, says, "What's up, brother?"
That's my nephew. What's up, nephew?
Respect. Welcome.
Yeah,
Welcome, nephew.
that is my nephew.
That's awesome. How do you prepare for a match where the only limit is violence? Do you prepare for it differently than what you do for in like a regular no DQ match per se compared to what death match holds are like barbed wire, tacks, and light tubes as we were talking about?
I prepare myself period for any match, whether it's death match, traditional, no DQ, hardcore. You have to approach it the same way every time. The goal is to go out there and protect one another, tell a beautiful story, and keep the fans involved. Um, if you lose them in the first 5 minutes, you probably lost them the rest of the match. Um, you got to feed off that crowd. And if you feel like you're going too fast, you probably are. If you feel like you're going too slow, go slower. Um, just take your time, and that's my advice to anyone that's coming up in the business. Take your time. Don't rush it. Just take your time. I watched George South doing armbar with Chief J Eagle for 5-10 minutes, and the crowd was popping the entire time. That's that old school stuff that they can't teach that no more. But you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you have to, like I say, that to be prepared for any match, you got to be prepared to walk in there, and the goal is protect your dance partner and each other and tell a story.
And you speak about telling a story. I would imagine storytelling to you is what's the most important part about wrestling, instead of just going out there, all right, we're going to throw out a few moves and stuff.
Correct. Some wrestling fans are actually invested in this stuff, and they want to see storylines. And I feel like, a good example of good storytelling was Nick Gage and Matt Cardona. I mean, that was a beautiful story. RSP and Nick Gage, that was a beautiful story. We need more stories in wrestling. I feel like that's a necessity. It's a lost art in the business now. Now, I mean, I'm not cracking on anyone that just throws anyone in there together. I'm not cracking on that. I am not at all. But I do believe that stories still have a place in wrestling.
And you try to keep it that way no matter where you go. Like, you always try to tell a story with the person that you're working with or people.
Absolutely. Because, I mean, here's the way I look at it. I've been in the business 18 years, and in them 18 years, I've learned, a lot. But one thing I've learned, as you progress in your career and you get closer to that old retirement word, and I mean real retirement, not stopping and then still coming back. I'm talking about being done. You got to realize that you want to leave this business better than what it was when you came into it. So my goal now is to get the next generation over. I want to make sure that they have a place long after I'm gone, which I'm nobody. I tell anybody that, and a lot of people put me on a pedestal. And while I appreciate the respect, I'm nobody. I'm just Brian White, and I'm just a man living his dream. But I want the next generation to have a good experience coming up, because it wasn't always good for me. I made it hard on myself a lot of times when I didn't have to, and I try to teach these up and coming guys, my students and my trainees. I let them know, some mistakes you can't come back from, and you don't want to burn bridges that you might need to cross later. I've burned a lot of bridges in my time. I've done a lot of immature things in my time, but I've learned from them, and I'm growing. And if you stop learning, you might as well just get out of business, because you never stop. I learn something every match I'm in. Every single wrestling match I'm in, I learn something new. And I like that about it. It's an ever-evolving sport.
You are not wrong there. It continues to grow all around the world. And what's the most painful injury you sustained, and did it make you reconsider your career?
The most painless, I'm going to have to say at Blood and Honey last year, when I fought Hardcore Hillbilly in a Margaritaville death match, there was a point in the match where he gave me a black hole slam into some dry ice. Did it make me reconsider it? No. The only time I ever reconsidered what I was doing was probably when I was in the ring with Chewy Martinez at Carnage Cup in round 2. I'd just been through round 1, which was a Saul Forever death match with Lil Sicko and John Rare. Went into round 2 against Chewy. Chewy was blitzed. And when I say blitzed, I mean totally trashed. He was drunk out of his mind. So I was a little nervous about that, because, there just wasn't really much communication, if you get what I'm saying. There wasn't much communication with me and him. And we get out there, and, immediately as soon as it starts going south immediately. I knew it was. But I just went on with it. And towards the end of the match, I'm already cut up from round 1. My back's annihilated from tubes, razor wire, and barbed wire and stuff with John and them. So my back and my whole body's already beat up. But then I'm getting beat up by Chewy on top of this with tubes and everything else he could find. And then he gets this concoction that was in this cauldron. I call it a cauldron looking thing, but it had let's see, lemon juice, salt, rubbing alcohol, and ghost pepper hot sauce in it, and salt. And he pours it over my head, and it goes on my head, into my cuts and everything, in my eyes. Dude, right there on pay-per-view in front of everybody, I'm not ashamed to admit it. I did not kick out. I was not going to kick out. That was painful. So when he pinned me, you can even see the look on his face at the end of it. He's even shocked. But immediately, as soon as he pins me, I get up and go get water on me and everything else. That was the one time I did say, what the hell? You know, is this really worth it? Am I good enough to be on a level with these guys that can handle it like that, I guess you could say? Because that right there is a pain I never want to endure again. I never want to endure that. So that was probably the one time I can honestly sit here and tell you that I reconsidered what I'm doing here.
Okay. Yeah, that match, you're talking about what took place at your as you said, Carnage Cup 13 with
Yes.
Chewy. And then you also faced Sicko and John Rare, where you and Sicko advanced against John Rare being eliminated. But then you faced Chewy in a Fans Bring the Weapons. But your first match was a Saw Forever death match with them.
It was John Rare's last match. It was his last match.
Wow.
And John Rare means the world to me. I will die on that mountain. I will stand by that man to the gates of hell and back. He has done so much for me. I don't think anybody would know who the hell I was if it wasn't for John Rare. And I have to give Kevin Brennan his props too. Him bringing me into IWA Deep South. I'm great. Let me go on record to say this while we're here, and anybody that watches this or now or whenever, I am grateful for the time I had at IWA Deep South. I am grateful for the opportunities I had at IWA Deep South. Just because I'm not there doesn't mean I don't love the guys there. I don't have respect for the guys there. I support still, and I still love each and every one of them guys in that locker room. Nothing has changed on that level. Just because things don't go the way we don't want them to, or whatever, or they happen unexpectedly, doesn't mean I have a vendetta towards Deep South or that I have a FU attitude towards them. Not at all. That could be further from the truth. Like I say, I'm grateful for that time there, and I'm grateful for it, and I'll never, ever, ever take that for granted. But back to John Rare. John Rare is the reason, like I say, anybody knows who the hell I am. He took a chance on me when he didn't have to, and I'm still shocked this day that he did take that chance on me. I'm grateful. Don't get me wrong. I am just in awe, but you got to remember, I grew up watching men like him and Spider Boudreaux and Freak Show and all them guys when deathmatch wrestling was still taboo, especially down here in the South. You couldn't do that shit around here and get away with it, but they did it. And it was just everything about the brutality, the violence of it, the storytelling, everything that they did. And it drawed me in. And like I say, I seen John Rare and Spider Boudreaux do some of the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. And then I watched him stab Spider with that damn box cutter. I mean, like, dude, I was like, this is crazy, but man, I want to meet that dude, And the time came that I finally met John face to face, and I will never forget that. It was at the IW show in Sylacauga, Alabama, and I was working him that night in a street fight. And when he came into the locker room, dude, I was sitting there trembling, and he hadn't noticed that I was in there yet. But I watched him go around, shake everyone's hand. He come to me, and dude, I mean, I'm just shaking like a leaf. I'm like, "Hello, sir, it's an honor." But we talked on the internet plenty of times, plenty of times before this. But I wasn't nervous then. But like being in his presence just was intimidating enough for me. But anyways, we get to the point of our match. I make my entrance, and I am getting major heat because I'm coming out in my South Carolina Gamecocks uniform and, telling these Bama fans what I think of them, getting the whatnot. And then the music hits, and you watch the door open, and here comes John Rare, the angel of death, you know, the man that you grew up watching, the man that you idolized, that inspired you to want to be a deathmatch wrestler. And he comes through the door, and he gets in the ring, and there's that one moment where, like, the crowd, all the noise stops, and I'm just looking across the ring, and there he is, my mentor, my hero, you know, and I'm just like, holy crap, this is really about to happen. It's about to go down, you know. And we went out there, and if I might say so, I feel like we stole the show. Uh, had a great match. Fans loved it. It was hot in that building that night. There was over 200 plus fans in there, in that armory, packed out. And I mean, no air conditioning, so you can imagine how hot it was, especially on a summer night in Alabama. So, but it was great. We went on from there to tell more great stories with our matches, and I'm just forever grateful for John Rare. I hope he knows that. Men like him, also men like Terry Houston. He's now currently wrestling at my promotion, APW Underground. He's a big driving force there. He helps a lot of our guys, myself included. I still ask him for it, but I still pick that man's brain. And for the one, I want to say this too, for the ones that forgot about Terry Houston and just marked him off like he was nobody, that's your loss. You really messed up, because he never went anywhere. He's always been here. And the fact that I kicked myself in the butt as a booker, that I didn't know he was still working, you know, wrestling or whatever. I didn't know that. And when he came to the show in October, I didn't even know he was coming. I wasn't even expecting to book the man, you know. And when he showed up, bro, I lost my mind. I said, please tell me you got your damn gear. And he said, yeah. I said, oh, we are putting the Burke County boys back together. And that's what we did. Him and Big Donnie went tag team that night. And it was just, I felt like a kid inside watching from the curtain, watching two guys that are pioneers in the Carolinas and in the South for their hardcore deathmatch wrestling. And I got to watch that. And it was just, for a moment, I got to be a fan, and I loved it, you know. But I just want people to understand that, like, I don't forget the vets. I don't forget the ones that paved the way for me, which is why I named the next show we're doing February 7th, Paved in Blood. I call it Paved in Blood because they paved the way for people like me, AJ Frost, hardcore hillbilly, guys in the South to do what we do. And I don't want them to ever feel like that they did it in vain and that it was for nothing. You know what I mean? They need to know that you are respected. You will be honored, and I appreciate what you did for me.
That's incredible. Strong words, sir. Strong words. Welcome, Joe Callis. He said, "What's up, brothers?"
Joe,
And welcome, Renee, also known as Little Psycho. Hello.
hey, Joe and I, we run a Outlaw Mud Show Wrestling group on Facebook.
Oh,
Yes, we do. We're both admins there. Joe is one of my bestest friends since I had a bad accident a couple years back, and he reached out to me, and we clicked off. And Joe has been a very big supporter of me, and everything that I've done. He's a good homie. He's a good guy. And I can't think of anybody else that I would rather go to war and have him by my side than Joe. So, Joe, if you're watching this, I love you, brother, man. You're the best homie. Whoop, whoop.
hell yeah. And freaking, you brought up John Rare, and when I have a list here of matches, I see him in quite a few of them, and he's also known as the Angel of Death. It looks like
Correct.
you guys are like have your back and forths, and then there was one particularly that stuck out as well was the Ring of Fire Death match. They were
Woo.
all great matches, but the Ring of Fire Death match, now that one, hoo, hoo, hoo.
I see, and there's no secret with me. I hate fire. I absolutely hate fire because, you know, it's so unpredictable, and it can go one of a million ways when you use it. But in that match, dude, I was terrified. I didn't sleep none the night before. I slept none in that motel. I bet I walked that motel room all night long. Because you got to remember, we had razor wire surround us, barbed wire. firecrackers, light tubes, gusset plates, fish hooks. I mean, anything that can inflict pain, we had it in there. Well, everything's running great, but then they light the fire. Son of a bitch, it got hot in there. Pardon my French, but it got hot real fast.
I have no
And
doubt.
then John, at one point, I throw him into the fire, and he's on fire, and he's laughing as he's on fire. I'm trying to put him out. I'm breaking kayfabe. I'm putting him out as I'm trying to pin him, and he's laughing. And I told him as I'm pinning him, I said, "You sick fuck, what's wrong with you?" You know what I mean? And he's just laughing. I'm like, "Oh my God, what am I in the ring with right now?" That was the first time that John went into another world, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? Like, he really was the angel. Nothing was stopping him. I mean, and he put them fish hooks in my mouth and pulled back. And I mean, he put that gusset on me. I mean, that old man gave me an ass whooping, but it was an honor. And the fireworks, they're not bad, but they suck. Let's just say that. I think the biggest thing, the whole thing that I hated about the match was he literally burned my balls when he got one of the sticks and it had a fire and he went down to hit me. And, oh yeah, he burned me good on that one. But all in all, man, that match, I think that's what really grabbed some attention, especially from Kevin. It wasn't long after that Kevin put me in the Carnage Cup, and I remember when I got the call that I was going to be in it, bro. I was at work, and I literally had to pull my truck over because I was trembling. And I said, now say this one more time. And they said, "You're going to be in Carnage Cup 13." I was like, "Oh my God!" I said, "Okay, you know." And it was a little surreal at that moment. And then he said, well, "You're also going to be facing John in a Saul death match." Oh, dude, I bawled like a little girl. I cried. I was like, "Are you serious that I'm working him in one of the most infamous death matches ever?" And I bawled for a minute. You know, I mean, I'm a sap for that, but it felt validating. You know, I mean, like, you know, at this point, I'd been in wrestling maybe 12 years at that point, and so it was just like all them years of thinking I wasn't getting nowhere or nobody was noticing me. Now is my time to show what they were sleeping on. And that's what I feel like I have to do every time I get in the ring now. It's a bar I set for myself. It's a standard I set for myself because I believe that you know, I'm here for a reason and I'm not going to piss away any opportunity I get. And I'm not going to I want them people to leave saying, "Man, did you see that guy, what he did?" And I want them to be talking about me, you know, like, "Man, that was cool. I can't wait to see what he does next time." Whatever. That's what I want. You know, I want to leave a lasting impression, whether it be, I want to see him again or that was gnarly or whatever. That's my goal. Hey, my brother Blaine Evans is watching. Hey, Blaine, I love you, my boy. That is my guy right there. He is one of my bestest friends in the whole world too. Great guy. Taught me a lot. I worked him at a softcore cup in Rocky Top, Tennessee, and we were in a deathmatch gauntlet, and I came in. I worked Jay Blade before him at PNJ, and he comes out, and me and him. And the sad part is, and this is where people get it wrong. They think I'm cracking on IW. I'm not cracking on IW. I just think that this show was booked piss poorly. By the time we got to the gauntlet match, all the stupid shit that had happened before that, we had maybe 5-6 fans in that building at that time at the main event. And me and Blaine went out there like there was 500 in there. We didn't care. We still put on a show for the fans. We did our job, what we were paid to do. And he just taught me a lot now. When he asked me, he says, "You want to be here? Show me." And I showed him, you know. I mean, I gave him everything I had. And I think it was enough to earn his respect. And to earn his means a lot to me. Again, one of them vets that someone like me, you got to respect the ones that paved the way. That's my boy right there. You see there, man. I love him to death, man. And I can only dream to be half of a worker that the guys are that I work with at Deep South, like Blaine, John Rare, Jay Blade, Sicko. I've been honored to share the ring with some great workers, and they have taught me a lot, and I will never take that for granted.
Very humble, sir. Very humble. You're respected by many and loved by many. And you talk about Blaine Evans. I know I saw that softcore match cup match that you guys were talking about. I thought it was good for what it was. I
I
think
think
you
so
guys
too.
did what you had with what you did. You know.
Yes, yes, I do too. Now you got to remember also, Kevin stepped on some toes when he did that show. That is the stomping grounds of TPW, Total Psychopathic Wrestling. Matt Rabby and the guys over there, and that's their venue. I mean, if you go in that town and you mention any other promotion besides them, they're like, "Who?" or "What are you doing there?" So I felt like that was kind of foolish of us to do. You can't expect to run in somewhere where TPW has been throwing banger after banger monthly there. And we only, at this time, IWA was running 3 shows maybe that year, 4 shows that year we did. And you can't expect to go into someone's home turf like that and to have their fans go out there and say, "Hey, we support you. We're so glad you're here." No, because in their eyes, we were WCW compared to TPW, who was WWF. You know what I mean? If that makes any
It was
sense.
like a territorial thing, like the territories back in the
Correct.
day.
And people say territories aren't dead. Bullshit. I don't care which. I mean, I don't. I know they're not, but they still are. Uh, we run up here in North Carolina, or down here, I guess for you, in North Carolina, and there's a lot of promotions surrounding us. And I'm not calling anyone out in particular, but they know who they are. There's a lot of them that's trying everything they can to have every show shut down or try to find something negative to try to piss on what we're doing or whatever. That's fine. And I welcome competition. I welcome any competition. I'm not threatened by them. I'm going to still run regardless of what you say or whatever. We're still going to run. But territories is a real thing. Unfortunately, it still is a real thing. You can tell me, you can't change my mind. Just like when I'll give you an example of like XPW running in New Jersey at the Hart Ballroom. You know, him and Danny had some work. Danny's like, "Hey, man, nobody runs the Hart Ballroom like I do." And he's right. He's absolutely right. Nobody runs that Hart Ballroom better than Danny DeMonto. And whether you hate him or like him, Danny DeMonto is fucking brilliant. He is a genius. He is
Oh,
doing
I love
big
it.
things. And he has brought a lot. He has put deathmatch at the forefront better than Brett Lauderdale ever could have. Ever could have. In my opinion. That's my opinion. You can take it for what it's worth. It don't mean nothing to anyone, but that's my opinion. I feel like that he's given a lot of people some opportunity. Now, there's been some things along the way, controversy, but that happens in this business. Controversy breeds cash. I don't know if you've ever heard that, but
I think that's a Bischoff saying, right?
I don't know if it was him or Briscoe. It was one of them.
Oh, right.
I'm
I
not
forgot about
sure. Don't hold me to that because I'm not no historian. But controversy breeds cash, and you know, I feel like this. If you talk about me, you're talking about me. I've got your attention. I'm living rent free in your head because I'm not sweating anyone around us or any other promotions or anything. We're not sweating that. I mean, competition is great. We welcome friendly competition, but I'm not going to sit here and not run just because you're running the same night or you're right down the road from me. Well, then we're going to see who the better promotion is. That's how I feel about it. I mean, if you're threatened by little old me who's only had 3 shows, we've only had 3 shows and I'm already making headway, then maybe you should look at yourself and your promotion, what you can do to get better. Just saying.
Understandable. Well said, sir. Well said. And you speak about Blade Evans. There's another matchup that was on your actual YouTube channel where you were in a fatal 4-way against him, James Barrett, and Jay Blade, where James Barrett won.
Yes, that is crappy, and I will stand by it. Everybody says you shouldn't do this. I don't care. This is my interview, and you said I could shoot. Well, here's my shoot.
You could say whatever you would like to.
Venom Championship Wrestling is the drizzling craps, the absolute worst promotion I have ever worked for. Jack Lord was in that back insulting me and others. I'm not going to say their name because I'm not going to drag them in and make it messy, but I'm just saying Jack Lord sat back there and had a nerve to talk trash saying, "Oh," and he's talking about me. "Oh, he's a deathmatch worker. He don't know about wrestling. He don't know how to work. He just knows how to smack people with weapons." Well, we went out there and showed him different that night. You know what I'm saying? 3 IWA boys took a greenhorn and we made him look good. And that kid put everything he had in that match. And I'm telling you to this day, James Barrett is a top phenomenal worker in my opinion. But we went out there and did our thing. But that promotion, you could not pay me enough to ever go back to. The promoter is shady. The promoter is unprofessional, unreliable, and very wishy-washy. And if he don't have fans anymore, it's because of his own fault and his own stupidity. So I highly recommend anybody in the Alabama area, I think Pell City to be exact, don't ever go to Venom Championship Wrestling. You're wasting your time and your money. It is nothing against the talent. It's nothing against the talent there. I'm just talking about the way it's ran by a shady piece of crap promoter. And I'll leave that there. But the match itself, yes, we did a traditional fatal four-way. James Barrett was so nervous that match, and he was in the back just like, what are we going to do? We're like, easy, kid. Just follow our lead. And we went out there and just had fun, dude. I think that was the hardest hitting match of the night. I think that was just 4 men going out there having fun and beating the shit out of each other. And we went back and celebrated afterwards. But it was a good match. We really put the kid over, and now he is flourishing. If you check Alabama and check out Lawless James Barrett, he's around. You'll see him. I'd like to see him at more places. So if any Boogers promoters are watching this, Lawless James Barrett, if you don't have him on your show, you're missing out.
I'm going to do more research into him. I was very impressed by that fatal four-way and what you guys did. You guys put on a match for the world to see with what you guys did, even besides the shady promoter. And I would imagine that you guys still all work together to this day, especially with Blaine. Do you still keep in contact with Jay Blade?
Absolutely. Jay Blade is actually going to be on my next show. He will be the main event of Paved in Blood. Yes, we're going to have the current reigning Carnage Cup champion Jay Blade versus the living legend Hardcore Terry Houston versus my trainee Jackson Cage. Jackson's made a name for himself. He's doing good. He had a match last show against Ghazi. Solid showing, great match. And I feel like this would be the next big test for him to have two grizzled vets. I mean, grizzled vets like Jay Blade and Terry Houston to show him the ropes, and we're gonna see how tough and how much grit the kid's really got. This is a big main event for him, and it's a big moment in his career. So I'm excited to see what happens with him. But I have all the faith in the world in Jackson. On a personal level, he's an amazing person. He's a good kid. He works hard for his family, just like myself. We work hard for our family, but he's a good kid. He's got big goals, big ambitions, and I hope that I can be a small part of getting him to where he wants to be.
Well, you did train him after all, so I would imagine you're very proud of where he's come in the training.
Well, now let's be truthful. Now I have to be truthful. Now his traditional training 5 years ago came from AJ Frost. I am bringing him into the deathmatch aspect, so I'm showing him the deathmatch way. Yeah, he was traditionally trained by AJ Frost.
Okay, I respect that. You gave him that second wind.
There you go. Much like John did for me. John and Blaine and all them guys. Like, you know what I mean? They knocked the rust off, I guess you could say.
Got the wheels going.
Correct. There you go. That's the best way to put it.
Fans love your death matches, but do you ever worry about your safety?
That's a yes and no kind of question for me. Yes, I am, but at the same token, sometimes no, I'm not. And I should be. Because my wife, she worries like naturally she would, but she knows I'm okay. We have a code word. If she ever hears me yell it, she knows that shit just got real. She needs to get up there and check on me. But for the most part, I just go out there and give it all I got. I mean, I have surprised myself so many times with my threshold for pain. I didn't realize I could go through something until it happened. And I think with deathmatch wrestling, when it comes to, what you're about to take, when I say a gimmick you're about to go through or take or whatever, it's the fear of what it's going to feel like until it happens. You're like, well, that wasn't too bad, You psych yourself out. You get in your own head. And deathmatch wrestling, it's easy to do that with that. I mean, we have some intimidating things out there. I mean, the Tokyo Towers, that alone was intimidating to me. I never used it until my last match. So things like that, gusset plates, them things, you're guaranteed you're going to bleed. And a good example of bleeding with that is at Blood and Honey, my Boards of Death match against Hardcore Hillbilly. He hit me with a gusset, dude, and now it's my own fault. I didn't eat much that day, and I drank a lot. So when he hit me with that, dude, I just bled out, screwed up everything. Well, I didn't screw up the whole match,
Yeah.
but I feel like I did. But it looked good when I look back at it. So, but I got one move in that match, and that was one chop on him, and he annihilated me after that. But as far as safety goes, like I said, that's a double-bladed knife. Yes and no.
Okay, understood. When you're mentally preparing, how do you go about that when you're in the mental mentality of being covered in blood, bruises, and probably some tacks or some glass in you?
I think it's just a part of my journey, my story. I just think about, what do I want people to remember me for when I'm gone? And I still really can't even answer that question myself. What I want people to remember me for when I'm gone. I mean, as far as in the ring, that I gave everything I had and try to give the fans a great showing. As far as business wise, that I always try to remain professional. I always try to be that, and that I was always humble, and that I didn't take the easy way. You know what I mean? I didn't take the easy path like everyone else may have or whatever, but I didn't take the easy path.
Understood. Has a fan ever? You must have had some fan interactions that may be crazy. Have you ever had a fan jump into your match and try to get involved?
That's a good question. When have I had that? I feel like I've had that happen. Yes, I did. It was against Robert Mack at Toys for Tots 2011, I think. His daughter, actually. And the reason I was so outraged about this is because she's the daughter of a worker, so she should know when work's being done. And after the match, when I defeated her dad, she proceeded to come up to me and push me. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, all right, don't do that again. All right, I'm going back to the back. And she did it again. And she did it again. And I told him, look, y'all get her. I said, I told Security, y'all get her. Because at that point, I knew she just don't know what's going on, apparently. She's not grasping this. And
Yeah.
I think that's the only time I had it. Me and him had some pretty we had a nice conversation upstairs in the locker room afterwards. But I think that's the only time I can honestly say that. Most time, fans, I think they understand the rule of thumb. If you step into my world, it's not just me you got to worry about. It's the locker room. The rule of thumb is if somebody does that, the locker room clears out and we clear them out. You know what I mean? Like, we let them know you ain't that ain't gonna happen. So that's the only time I can honestly say, and it didn't really get out of hand per se until me and her dad had some words. But I mean, other than that, I don't think I've ever had that.
Understood.
I've had him boo me or tell me, of course, they've said some pretty harsh things. Most people love to attack my mouth or whatever because I don't have many teeth. But other than that, it's never gotten physical with anyone. Now, I did shoot one time I was under false pretenses why I did the shoot, though. But I shot on Danny DeMonto and MDKC.
Is that your video on your YouTube channel where you shot?
Yes, and
Oh,
I'm not proud of that because I was under the wrong assumptions. But I was grateful for that happening. When I did do it, me and Andy Lawler talked afterwards. Andy Lawler runs Deathmatch Elite 2.0. We talked afterwards, and now he's one of my best homies I see. If I see him at a show, I go out on my way to see him. So, yeah, we're going to leave that there.
I mean, it sounds like you really do regret it, though, and it's like, but it sounds like you're cool with Danny now. What you were talking about earlier, like you love.
I actually reached out to him as a man first and buried the hatchet because what am I doing? Chasing clout, trying to get clout because I got beef with Danny DeMonto? It's not going to make him come here and want to wrestle me. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to change anything. It just makes me look like a keyboard warrior. We had some words back and forth a couple years back, but like I say, I apologize to him because I was wrong. I mean, how else can you say it? As a man, I can sit and think I was wrong.
You're owning up
Totally
to the mistakes you made, and you're
correct.
trying to be better.
I manned up. I totally shit the bed on that one. And there was no reason for me to be doing it. He's just out here doing what I'm doing, trying to live a dream and have some fun doing it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
A little humility goes a long way.
Indeed, indeed. Welcome, Randy Hernandez. And I saw the name that you tagged down there, also known as the Hardcore Hillbilly, Drew
Yeah.
Vickers.
Yeah.
You've brought him up quite a bit. You guys have had plenty of battles, and especially at Blood and Honey 4 and Blood and Honey 6.
Yes. When we're not done, we got another one coming up. Me, myself, and AJ Frost versus him and Luke Hateful in a tag team death match at APW Paved in Blood. We gotta finish this somehow, some way. I'm the type, if you whoop my butt one time, you're gonna have to whoop it again and whoop it again. But I'm gonna get you eventually, and when I do, it's gonna be good. So I'm waiting to get my hands on him. I only tagged him because he wanted to hear the interview and what I'd have to say about him, which I don't have nothing negative to say about him. He's a phenomenal worker, strong as an ox and twice as ugly. But you know, here it is, Drew. I tagged you in it. You can come in here and talk smack or whatever. But other than that, that's the only reason I tagged him. But I've had some great battles with him, and I think that he put that Margaritaville death match is probably in my top 3 favorite matches of all time. I mean, if people they slept on the kid for a long time, and I think that his experience with Necro and with Nathan Mowry and Insane Bloody Lane or whatever, however you want to say it, Insane Lane, them guys have really taught him a lot, and he has grown phenomenally. I mean, grown. And I feel like at APW Underground that he is at a good spot. He's in a good place there. The fans really react to him, whether it be good or bad. All around, just a good worker and definitely a major asset to our roster.
I agree. And you talk about the Margaritaville death match you guys had, where special guest referee was Lindsay Snow, but at Blood and Honey 4, you guys had a boards up death match.
Yes. That's the one when I was talking about I bled out because I was so drunk and everything. Yeah, I wasn't proud.
You couldn't probably feel it because you were so drunk, huh?
I feel like I did Drew wrong on that one, but again, when me and him both look back at the footage, it looked great. So it wasn't too bad, in my opinion. It definitely had some holy shit moments, and at the end of the match, I mean, the fans got a good view of me just leaking. I mean, I'm leaking, bro. I'm grateful for Nathan Mowry giving me that opportunity to work for Blood and Honey. That gave me a lot of opportunities to meet some of the vets of the business and to pick their brains, such as Lindsay. She is an absolute class act. She's tough as shit, I can tell you that. And when she puts them needles in, Take it from me. I got
Oh, yeah.
Lindsay Snow is a class act. Again, Nathan, class act. He has been nothing but professional to me. He has been a great friend to me outside of the business as well. I couldn't ask for a better person. I'm grateful for that. I think that what he's doing in Atlanta is special, and it's a part of what we're doing at APW Underground. We're trying to put the South back on the map with good deathmatch wrestling. So I'm very proud to be a part of that movement with him. And again, solid roster, a solid production crew he has. He's doing good things down there. And if you guys get a chance to go to one of his shows, please go. Go out and support him because Nathan Mowry is putting he's putting the fun back in deathmatch wrestling. I'm gonna say that.
Understood. I agree with this. Blood and Honey has been very successful, and I can't wait to see the next thing. And he's also made a career at other places, of course.
Correct. Yeah, man. Household name now.
Oh, yes.
There's Barrett. Hey, there he is. He just joined us. We was just talking about you,
Welcome.
Barrett. Yes, there's Lawless James Barrett. Yes, y'all. That's the one I'm talking about. In Alabama, if you're not booking him, outside Alabama, if you're not booking him, you're missing out.
Definitely book this man, like he said. Book him. And at the Kings of Carnage, I believe it was called, were part of the Spider Boudreaux Memorial Gauntlet, where you faced. Well, these were the competitors in the matchup. You were in the last match against Hardcore Hillbilly, but it was you, Hardcore Hillbilly, Redneck Rebel, Mac 10, and Obey, and Jimmy Controversy.
Yep. That was the most pleasant surprise in the world, I think, for me. And I keep that plaque in my memorabilia to constantly remind me that, you know, in my life, if I never do anything else in wrestling again, that one was very important and very special to me. Because you got to remember, again, that's another one of the people I grew up watching. But I just defeated his brother the day before, and now I'm winning the gauntlet that's named in honor of him. You know, so it was emotional, dude. If you watch back, I have a video of me, and now I'm in tears. But that was legit emotions. That was years and years of busting my body and breaking my back just to get where I'm at, and to be validated on that level and on that platform. I mean, it was just crazy for an old country boy from Donald, South Carolina to have the world have their eyes on me at that moment. Anybody who's watching the stream or whatever, but to have their eyes on me for that one moment. And my niece was there with us, and my wife was there, and I just looked at them and said, I did it. And I just cried, and we all cried together. But I mean, it was just, some things just stay burned in your memory forever, and that's one of them. I think that's a very special, very, very special victory that'll live with me to my dying day.
I love that. It was a fantastic matchup, and the man that you guys were memorializing, I think he was looking down on you, very proud of what you guys
I
accomplished.
appreciate that. John Ray said the same thing. That means a lot to me to hear that. Thank you so much.
And you're getting credit from James Barrett as he says, you're awesome, brother. I can't wait to share the ring with you again, man. Appreciate that, brother.
That's my boy, man. That's my boy. I'm telling you, man, good kid, bright future.
Hell yeah.
I'd like to see him and BK Bennett go at it.
Say what? Who?
I'd like to see him and BK Bennett go at it.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. I worked BK at Square Circle Action Wrestling in Royston, Georgia, in my TV debut over there, and that kid's got it. He's been working for Bullpen. He's been working for a lot of them, but yeah, I'd like to see them two go at it.
You've been working with guys that deserve to be booked more, and like ones that you kind of help give that experience to. So I would imagine that you kind of make your own like training sessions.
They gave me experience too, though. You know, I like I say, I never stopped learning, and I feel like, you know, some vets are just so set in their damn stubborn ways that they don't feel like they can learn nothing from a greenhorn. That could be further from the truth. I learn every match, but I feel like, I don't know, man. I just feel like if you're closed-minded to trying to learn, what are you here for? You know, like I say, I learn something every time I'm in the ring, and with BK, I just learned I need to work on my cardio because that kid can go. With Barrett, I learned that kid is tough as freaking nails, and you really got to put it on. Like, I mean, when we were chopping him, we wasn't holding back. And it seemed like the more we hit him, the more he came back harder. You can't keep him down. He's got heart. He's got heart like unlike anybody I've ever seen. I learned that in that match. I just learned that, you know, you can't keep a good man down. But I don't know. It just stop being closed-minded, vets, because we can learn something from each other every match. Each of us. So that's how I feel about that, I guess.
And James Bear said him and BK have wrestled only once before in Cottondale, Atlanta. Is that what that means?
Yes.
But I wouldn't mind running it back with him. The day you stop learning in this business, you might as well hang up the boots. My chest was like hamburger meat after that. Excuse
Dude,
me.
we lit him up, dude. I mean, I'm telling you, Jay Blade and Blaine, if they were in here, would tell you the same. We did not hold back on that kid. I mean, but he told us not to, and he took it like a man. So,
Oh, it's Alabama where they face. I thought it was Atlanta. My bad. And it's
yeah. I'm sorry, Alabama.
and Brede, Lil Psycho said it's a constant learning process in the business. That is correct.
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. Every evolving business, you got to evolve with it. And invest
Exactly.
in yourself. If any rookies are watching this, invest in yourself. When I say that, invest in yourself. Get merch. Get merchandise. You know what I mean? I don't know if you can see that. But get merchandise. Sell yourself. Because some shows, you know, the payout might not be good, but the gimmicks can make up for it. So get gimmicks to sell at a gimmick table. Invest in yourself.
James, you guys definitely made him a tougher guy.
I don't think anybody could hold him back after that. Because you couldn't tell that boy nothing after that match, man. Once he realized everything was good and that he done good, you could see that confidence and that aha moment where he's like, okay, I can do this. And that felt good more than anything, was giving him the empower to know that you can do this, kid. You do have good qualities. It's going to take you places. And for him to have that moment of that epiphany, and you can see, you know, when you see it. And it's just like, you can see him when he's just sitting in his chin. He's just like, you know, you see him there like that for a minute. He's looking at his chest. He started taking his tape off, and you see that little smile on his face. And I was like, that's what I was waiting on. And I mean, he was proud of himself, and he should have been. I mean, you went toe to toe with three hard hitting sons of bitches, and you survived, and you didn't complain, and it was a good moment. Even though it was a shit promotion, I would do it again for him.
Well said. Well said. And Barrett did agree with what she said. Merch makes money, and Renee says definitely Barrett.
Yep, absolutely.
You've competed in various styles. Do you ever feel like you're compromising your deathmatch style at all?
No, I don't. A good example of people doing that I would say would be like Akira. Akira went from the deathmatch world to MLW, Big Japan Pro Wrestling and all that. But I mean, he did MLW and he didn't do all hardcore there. Mick Foley, he was hardcore. Don't get me wrong, but not every match he did was hardcore. I mean,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? Let's talk about that. You know what I mean? You don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like it taints your style. I don't think it makes you look bad or anything like that. When IWA Mid South was still running, they still had house shows where they weren't death matches, and guys like John Wayne Murdoch were there working traditional matches. I feel like in order to get better in this business, you should dip your toes in it. Some type of genre, whether it be strong style, lucha, hardcore, deathmatch, traditional, whatever. Just dip your toes in there. Find out what you're good at. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm a much better deathmatch wrestler than I was a traditional wrestler, only because I can make an ass whooping look good. I guess I don't know. I guess it's the way I sell or what. I don't know.
How do you
But no,
choose
I
your?
don't feel like it hurts it at all. No, if anything, that's the experience that you need to excel to
Okay.
get better.
Well, James Barrett right here gives you guys credit once more. Brother, my confidence soared into the stratosphere after that match. The fact that three veterans said I did great means a lot to me. I love all three of you guys.
Love you back, brother.
When it comes to like doing death matches, do you particularly pick your opponents, or are they given to you like as a booker would give it to you?
I mean, I tried when in my own promotion, I try to book myself against people I mesh with really good and can put on a good show with, but which I'm actually expanding that a little bit more. There's going to be more names that you probably have never heard of before that I'm going to be working this year, only because I feel like it's time, to do, like I say, get to the next generation. Let's go back to that one.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go back. I don't want to give you a wrong answer on that one.
And you talk about your own promotion. You want to share out to the people what that is in case they don't know.
Yeah, it's APW Underground. We're based out of Mooresboro, North Carolina. Myself and AJ Frost are trying to bring something besides wrestling to the Carolinas. We have grizzled vets. We have up and coming stars. We have a little bit of everything for everyone. We do have we're hybrid. We have traditional matches, but we have our death matches. We have our hardcore matches. I think our roster is mixed very well. And AJ does a phenomenal job with helping these guys as well. I can't sit here and take credit for everything because AJ teaches them promos and he trains them as far as like actually doing the wrestling itself, not using the gimmicks, actually wrestling. He does a lot for this promotion. We have a good behind the scenes crew. We have Conley Bolton doing our videography. We have Chad McDaniel doing our photography. My nephew Madden, which is also Adam's son, he does our sound for us and our graphics too. We've got a good support system. We're not as big as others right now, and that's okay. This is only our October. This is our fourth show coming up, so we know we're still young and we still got to make a name. And I feel like the up and coming event we got coming with We Love Wrestling is going to really help us out a lot. Really going to boost a lot. That show will be, I believe it's August 8th. We Love Wrestling versus APW Underground Southern Discomfort. Will be live on IWTV, if not replayed on IWTV. We got some big things planned for that. I'm not going to reveal too much about that, but APW Underground is something me and Adam, we've done traditional so long that we said, screw it. We're going to be we're going to go against the grain here in the Carolinas. Like I said, they're used to old school wrestling. We wanted to bring blood and violence to them, And the first show, we were so nervous. We didn't do too bad on the first show, but this is our baby, and we put our whole careers and reputations and everything into this. My wife, bless her heart, she's my biggest supporter, but I get on her nerves constantly talking about the promotion or what we got going on or something or whatever. But she supports me through it, and I appreciate that. APW Underground is more than just mine and Adam's promotion. Like I say, that's our family. The guys and girls on our roster is our family, and it's a learning process too for me because I've never been on this side of wrestling. I've always been the worker. That's it. Just show up, work, and that's all I had to do. Now I'm in this position in the company, and I see the hard work that goes in behind the scenes. It's more than just, well, let's put these guys together and that's it. No, there's a lot more that goes into it than that, and it makes me respect and appreciate the business a lot more. But APW Underground, we have Facebook pages as well, APW Underground, and then there's APW Underground Visual Violence page. We've got some big things coming up, like I say. So you guys just stay tuned. We've also got a concert show we're doing, kind of.
A conference?
It's a concert.
Oh, okay.
Yes, a concert. I'm sorry, Dylan. I know if you're watching this, I'm not meaning no disrespect, brother. I'm just brain farting because I'm old. But we're gonna be there. We're gonna have some matches there. I feel like that's going to give us a lot of exposure and open some new eyes to us, maybe some new eyes to wrestling. Not many people know about professional wrestling still. There's many people that don't or that care for it.
Hmm.
Maybe we can change their mind. I don't know. We'll see. Kind of like what SPW is doing over there. They're doing that. I don't know how to say it without being offensive, but the role play games and like that, the way that Logan and them guys are doing that over there, that is so much fun. You get some of the most funnest matches you can watch of guys you never thought you'd see in the ring together. Regardless if it's WWE 2K, who cares? It's still good entertainment. And then the commentary coming in behind it, that makes it even better. If you ever watch one of the live feeds, man, there's people interacting in there. And it's pretty wild, man. Like, I enjoy it. I think that's a good thing. And it really shows that fans, they appreciate what we're doing and they appreciate us. And it's kind of, and it's also cool to see yourself in a video game. You know, that's kind of cool too.
Heck yeah, it is. And you just had a match on SPW against the Mighty, and you previously faced him in a tag match where he teamed up with Flash, and you teamed up with your Deep South Juggalo partner, Lil Sicko.
Yes. Sicko. Oh man, I love Sicko so much, guys. I don't know how many people are watching this right now know anything about him. But Sicko, I've been saying it since day one when I met him at IW Deep South that he was going to be something special. I told everybody. I told everyone that. And some listened and some didn't. But I am so proud of his evolution. I mean, bro, it's kind of like going from the outhouse to the White House. You know what I'm saying? He's been from the backwoods in Alabama all the way to Atlantic City to wrestle in goddamn the most violent tournament in the country besides Carnage Cup. You know what I'm saying? Like, Sicko's doing it, and I'm so proud of you. If you're watching this, Isaac, I'm so proud of you, bro. Like, you just keep shining, bro. Keep shining, and I'm going to keep supporting. I promise you that. But yeah, Sicko and I have a little history together, but there's nothing but love there. I promise you that's absolute love for that guy.
I believe it. Welcome, Johnson. Welcome, Nathan Mowry and Renee from SPW.
Hey.
Everyone starts somewhere, and what y'all are doing are amazing. And she says we do a lot in SPW and have a lot of fun.
Yes, I agree. I absolutely agree. I love it. I've had workers contact me talking about, did you go to Japan to work? How do we not hear that? I'm like, wait a minute. Wait. Wait a minute now. Y'all know I can't go all the way to Japan, but they it's so much fun in there, dude. It's everybody said, well, it's a fantasy world. Yeah, so what? Look at all the evil and hate and meanness going on in the world today. Why can't we have something different? Why not? There's so much hatred in the world right now, and I don't understand it. I don't get it. I mean, I'm not gonna get political, nothing like that. I'm just saying, but there's a lot of hate and a lot of negativity in the world, and if SPW can take my mind away for the couple hours that they're running the show, I'm gonna watch and I'm gonna support and I'm gonna escape this this crazy bull crap going on in the world around me. That's how it is in wrestling. When I'm in that ring, I can be in there 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 minutes, an hour. I don't care. But in that time, Brian Cummings, the man, can escape everything that's bothering me out here, whether it be I've got this overwhelming bill or I got this big project at work that's bothering me or whatever. I can simply walk away from it for a little bit. And for them few minutes, I can be Brian White. And I can, or not just Brian White, I can be anybody I want to be when I'm in wrestling. You know what I mean? I can be anybody I want to be for that time period and just forget about all my worries. You know what I'm saying? That's what I love about wrestling. That's the beauty of it. You can escape reality just for, even if it's for 5 minutes, it doesn't matter. For them 5 minutes, you can be anybody or anything you want to be.
Indeed.
And that's where SPW comes in, man. Dude, I mean, Logan and Renee and all the crew over at SPW, they work hard behind the scenes putting these venues together. They work hard behind the scenes getting these wrestlers put together. They work hard behind the scenes to do the storylines. There's actual storylines in this, and I enjoy it. And I just think anybody watching this, if you get a chance, watch Syndicate Pro. I promise you guys, it is very enjoyable, very, very entertaining.
Indeed, definitely go check out SPW and the man that we've talked about a bit. Excuse me, Hardcore Hillbilly is here, and welcome Tiffany.
Uh, so he did show up.
A
Huh.
little bit after, but he's still here.
Give him time. Give him time. He'll get warmed up.
What's the biggest misconception about deathmatch wrestling?
That we can't wrestle.
Wow.
That pisses me off more than anything, because you hear a lot of old school traditional workers, even some of the new ones, talk about all they do is pick up gimmicks and smack each other with it. They don't even tell a real story with it. I'm doing wrestling still. I'm just doing it with a light tube or a table or something like that. I'm just doing something differently than you are. It doesn't mean I can't wrestle. I was trained by Manny Fernandez. You know, I had him, Timmy Anton, Jay Eagle, Steve Stasiak, Nick Fury, AJ Frost, guys like that trained me. So I have the traditional background. Whether I apply it every time, probably I don't, but I try to. And if I don't, I will do better. But stop saying deathmatch wrestlers can't wrestle. Because I promise you, I could put you in the ring with someone like Shellac, and he'd out wrestle your ass any day of the week.
Slack is scary.
Necro,
Scary.
Necro can out wrestle anybody in this damn circuit.
Necro.
Masada can out wrestle anybody in this business. Out wrestle. I'm not talking about deathmatch. Out wrestle them.
Uh-huh.
Mickey Knuckles can out. She was trained by Tracy Smothers, so you know she knows how to freaking work. Stop saying that about deathmatch wrestlers. Anybody watching this that thinks that all we do is smack each other again? No, we do more than that. We tell a beautiful, violent story, but we can wrestle, motherfuckers. Pardon my French, sorry.
I have not been canceled for cussing. That's why I usually put on my videos it's not for children, because I don't want to get thrown off for accidentally saying, oh, yeah, this is for children. Then you hear an F-bomb or something, you know.
Right.
So you're allowed to speak your mind. And how you were just talking about that, there is a kind of a controversial question I have on here that I hope you can answer. This is not what I think.
Okay.
This is from a friend of mine he wanted me to ask because he's not really into deathmatch wrestling.
Okay.
So, how do you feel about the stereotype that deathmatch wrestlers are damaged goods?
Come tell me I'm damaged goods to my face.
Yeah, I don't think you guys are damaged goods. My friend does not like the sport of deathmatch wrestling. I've tried to get him into it, but he just keeps resisting.
Well, that's my opinion, though. Come tell that to me. Come look at the scars on my body, and let me tell you the stories behind them scars. Let me tell you about the brothers that behind the scenes that lost their lives to struggles that nobody knows about. And when deathmatch wrestling was around, they didn't have nothing else to go to. You know what I mean? Just come say that to my face and hear my side. Hear someone else's side. Come tell them to their face. It's just like an example that would be like when that Mexican reporter called Randy Orton fragile. I feel the same way. You know, come tell me I'm fragile. Come tell me that. I'm not trying to attack anyone when I say that. I'm just saying let's have a dialogue. Come talk to me.